If you've been struggling with weight gain for a while, it could be your age or hormones or a little thing called perimenopause. And I get it. I'm right in the thick of it myself. So let's break down the simple path to stop the weight gain for good. My name is Karen, and I help people feel better in their bodies between the ups and downs of weight loss. Because running into weight gain, it can be a constant battle, but fixing it for good will help you feel more in control, and you won't be running for the next extreme diet or making it worse, really. Look, I know aging and hormones are a complicated system, but if you take the time to understand what's happening within your beautiful system that you have, you might not lose weight right away, but you can actually stop the gain, which definitely counts for something, right? I'm 51. I'm just a regular, like mid-size Gen X girl, endomorph with no gallbladder. Perimenopause really hit me like a ton of bricks several years ago. I was not only experiencing weight gain that was coming out of nowhere and, seemed like every day I was gaining another pound. I felt my clothes getting tighter and tighter, but I was also developing a severe anxiety. I was severely anemic. Once I talked to my doctor, and she was very understanding. She taught me how to ride the wave of what was happening. This was a hormonal shift, an extreme one. And my body will recalibrate itself, but I could help my nervous system by kind of undoing everything that I was doing to try and lose weight. So this included hour-long HIIT workouts. It included intense boot camp style workouts, intermittent fasting, working out while I was in a fasted state, sometimes ketogenic eating. I was trying absolutely everything, and had usually worked before. Whenever I was feeling like I was putting weight on, I would just get, more disciplined in the toolbox that I knew and had used for years, but it was backfiring on me endlessly. And then I was recommended this book to read to help me balance my hormones and get in sync with my cycle. And I'm not affiliated with this book. I will share my Amazon affiliate link in the description below. This book not only changed my life, but it gave me control back. And over the long term, it's been a guiding post to heal my body from the inside out. It's now 4 years later as I record this. I have a perfectly healthy cycle. I'm still in the depths of perimenopause, but I am symptom free. Now, it takes work, but I'm going to share with you the principles behind it. And of course, I'll share with you what the book is. This actually stopped the weight gain in its track. The book is called In the Flow by Alyssa Vitti, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I've used this book so much that the book cover just got like ratty and tattered and torn, and like I use it in the kitchen because it's got recipes in here, and it's well used. It's something that you can refer back to over and over again. So it works on the female's body as a 28-day cycle and a 28-day system. And as you know, there's like 4 different parts of the woman's cycle that usually last 28 days. And there's the bleed, the follicular, the ovulation, and the luteal. And in each one of those phases, we intuitively have different feelings. We sometimes will have different tastes. We have different ways that our body will respond to everything in the world, and we can actually use that as our superpower. So, for example, we're bleeding. You're intuitively wanting to have things that are more comfortable. Maybe that is actually exactly what you're supposed to do. take it easy on yourself. Maybe, however, when feel as though we're giving ourselves an excuse, or at least this is how I worked, I'm not going to give that as an excuse to not work as hard or deliver as well as I normally do. We push through these intuitions, which can actually knock our bodies off of balance. Isn't that wild? Then I have another nugget coming right up. So make sure you're subscribed to see more content just like this. There's a follicular, I always pronounce that wrong, but there's that phase where, it's just right after we've stopped bleeding and we start to, you know, have a rise in energy. That's a time where we can start pushing ourselves a little bit better. It'd be a time to maybe go for a run instead of a walk or do a hip workout. Then go into the ovulation, and it's normal to have a little bit of a rise in energy, and your skin is perfect. Everything is glowing. It feels like the highlight of the month, and that only usually lasts about 3 to 4 days. This is when you can really push yourself. A great time to go vegan or vegetarian for a couple of days because your body's thriving on it. And you're magnetic. And all of a sudden, doesn't it always seem like all of a sudden a door slams in your face? Like you wake up one day and you're high as a kite, life is the best. And then the next day, it's like, I hate everything. Mood completely changes. Well, hello, luteal phase. Luteal does not like things like intermittent fasting. Luteal phase needs complex carbs and fiber and needs to be nourished in order to get the progesterone rising, which helps you to feel good when you're getting ready for the next bleed. Now, just giving you little tidbits from what I've learned from the book and then gone on to study a little bit more so that you can just understand that there are different ways of being and feeling in the different parts of your cycle. And when you're intuitive and you know that this is normal, you can start to use it as your advantage. It's when we sway away from it, when we push harder, we can knock our hormones way out of whack. And usually the first symptom is weight gain. And what happens is we go running for all these weight loss things that actually add to the problem because they're not nourishing and nurturing the hormones there. And what's unique about this book is there's actual plans in here. So there's different ways of eating. I mean, it's just a different way to prepare your foods, different combinations of foods. If you've ever heard of seed cycling, that's in here and explained to a T. And she gives you actually like a plan that you could follow or in lists of food groups that are beneficial for making or supporting different hormones in different cycles. Then there's also an exercise path. So she gives kind of like a sample types of workouts you would do on different times of the cycles. And then there's a whole other element of your work job, like when to schedule interviews or talks or when to have that big meeting and when to push on creative projects and when it's a better time to just like hammer down. Like during the luteal phase, we crave knocking things off the to-do list. I just want to get stuff done so that when I start my cycle again, I can go intuitive and think about where I am, what I want the goals to look like so that I can put on the gas during my follicular phase and peak during ovulation and then go back and get shit done in the luteal phase and start where you can. And I started with just the change in food, and it wasn't that much of a shift for me because what I learned was different combinations at different times. So that's where I started. And the second thing I changed was the way I worked out. And with those two things, I had my body completely recalibrated within just a couple of months. And then I continued on for a few years, and I'm still fibroid free. I've not only been able to stop the weight gain, I've been able to start the weight loss, which, like, I do love my body the way it is. I'm grateful for how it is, but I think that we're able to do that and to improve ourselves at the same time. So I feel like following this cyclical way of being and cycling the way according to the hormones has helped me not only stop the weight gain, but also stop anything from developing, being proactive during this transition instead of, in that it's going to be the worst. So I think that every woman should have this book. I feel like I would have loved to read this in my 30s. It's certain that I know the knowledge. I can look back on my 30s and I'm like, oh, that's why that happened. I read it. Comes to stopping weight gain, walking is still one of the best tools to jumpstart your success at that. I have a video explaining how to stay motivated to walk so that you can stop the weight gain and feel lighter mentally and physically in no time. And I've queued that up and linked it to you for you below. For spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.